Any company using components which are insulative or isolated from ground can generate static charges when friction is applied. So within the pharmaceutical medical industry, there are a number of issues, mainly within the packaging of the product, but also within the construction of the product. If they generate static charges on materials, then those materials will misbehave, or they will attract contamination, or they will have a number of issues which will actually slow down production processes, cause rejects, cause scrap rates, and within the medical industry, hygiene is a key critical component. One of the biggest problems within the pharmaceutical industry is contamination. If contamination gets into the production process, that contamination, they don't know where it's come from. It could hold bacteria, it could hold viruses. So any contamination that is identified will create a reject and scrap. So whether it's packaging and contamination of packaging, whether it's product misbehavior, which means it doesn't go into a blister pack and it then goes into a discard shelf, that's thrown away. So everything is about yield. If they can get the product into the packaging without contamination, they can get it sealed, they can, without contamination, they can get it labeled clearly without, so that date codes and so on can be seen, batch codes can be seen, is traceable, then they can sell it. But if anything goes wrong within that, then it's scrap and they have to start again. Static charges on even very small products will cause a misway. Now, if it's that critical that you're actually putting that finer detail on what it is you're doing, then any misway, it may be an overdose, an underdose. If we look at pharmaceutical packaging as an example, you will take a roll of clear film, plastic film, and you'll unwind it, and during the unwinding process you will generate electrostatic charges. Now, the idea of that material is it will be unwound, it will go into a thermoformer, and it will create blisters. And those blisters will be filled with anything from medical implements for surgery, pills, surgical masks, stents, anything along those lines. And that blister has to be clean. If the static charges attract contamination, then during the blister forming, that contamination will then become part of the molten plastic and won't be able to be removed. So a surgeon opening a container full of surgical implements sees an eyelash, that is rejected, instantly. Prevention is preventing the static charges from building up to a high enough level where it actually attracts the contamination. But if the material is already contaminated, then removing the static charge won't remove the contamination. It won't just fall off. So we might look at putting a web cleaning system in, to clean the material prior to thermoforming. After thermoforming, we'd look at static control, because if the thermoforming process will regenerate static charges, which will then attract contamination after the process. So if we neutralize it immediately after it comes out of the thermoformer, it doesn't have a chance to get recontaminated, so therefore it goes through the production process clean as it should do. Static generation can actually be a benefit, or static charges can be a benefit in the correct circumstance and with the correct level. We've talked about the attraction of contamination to product, but what about when you want to coat something? So for example, you may look at contact lens manufacturing. So a contact lens is a hard plastic which comes out of injection molding machine. They then want to put a coating on that lens to create a uniform coating. It may be a scratch resistant coating, it may be an antibacterial coating, whatever coating that they want, but they want it to cover uniformly across, not have bubbles here, there and everywhere. Okay? So by applying a static charge uniformly across the contact lens, the droplet of liquid will spread uniformly across the contact lens, thereby ensuring that all the surface of the lens is coated with an equal amount of liquid. We're very open to actually discussing the problems and helping companies solve the problems before it creates a major issue to them. We are always looking for opportunities, looking to help people, and the team that's behind us, we work very closely with anybody that wants to talk to us.